What's up, guys? It's Jughead here, just a down-to-earth guy trying to bring you some down-to-earth content. Welcome to my Let's Watch Star Wars Visions series. I uploaded a recent video only a day or two ago where I discussed in depth and at length why exactly a Star Wars anime is a perfect idea. Chef's kiss, and an ingenious project to undertake. Well, you have people at Netflix somehow thinking that a live-action Cowboy Bebop was ever a good idea to go through with, let alone now having to deal with all the controversies and just the overall mess now too, which I do critique in my discussion video as well. Disney, on the other hand, went 200 IQ gigabrain here. Star Wars as a concept was birthed and entirely influenced by Japanese film, particularly the samurai classics. George Lucas was heavily inspired by Akira Kurosawa when he went to film school and was first exposed to foreign film. As I said in my discussion, without the likes of Seven Samurai and the Hidden Fortress, the original trilogy might not have ever existed either, or at least in the capacity that it does exist. And aside from Japanese filmmaking being a clear influence, the idea of a space opera is so rooted in anime and manga that you must include that as well. With Star Wars being an essential component to my childhood and still being a Star Wars nerd to this day, come on, I could not pass up bringing Star Wars Visions to the channel as a casual and brief Let's Watch series. This channel was founded on experiencing and exploring anime for the first time. So to mix that in with the Star Wars universe, where my imagination got lost as a kid, that's a perfect marriage in right there, in my opinion. Why binge through it alone when we can absorb it together? However many or few are interested as much as I am here. And I say casual and brief because there are only 9 individually separate and unique episodes, all ranging between 14 and 23 minutes long. So our reactions will be short, and our discussions, they're going to be as laid back or as thorough as each story allows me. Kamikaze Douga kicks off Visions with their episode called The Duel. A wandering stranger with a mysterious past defends a village from powerful bandits. That is what the description says. Interestingly enough, in the video I uploaded, where I go through each and every one of the studios and what stories they are doing, I said 2 things. One, the black and white illustrative style episode is the one I'm personally looking forward to most, as it appears to be exactly up my alley in tone and style. That is this episode here. And 2, before this, I had never heard of Kamikaze Douga Studio in my life. So I'm actually super hyped and happy for them to be the ones to have produced this episode that I'm so excited and eager for. And hopefully they can give me an episode that at the end tells me, well, you know us now. I would love that. And it's no coincidence to me. I think that this episode was chosen to lead the pack first and kick off this series, as this one, just by looks alone, pays homage and reference most to Akira Kurosawa and his work, the work that directly influenced Star Wars to be in the first place. So it's only right this episode comes first in a most symbolic way to bring the Star Wars franchise full circle back to its very roots. So, with that little intro out of the way, I am going to see you in a few seconds as we watch our first episode of Star Wars Visions. See you in a bit. So, Star Wars Visions, Episode 1, The Duel. Before we get started, hit that like button to support this new series if you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to join us here on our journey together. With that out of the way, in 3, 2, 1, let's jump into this, shall we? Do I have everything right? Yes, I do. Hopefully the volume's not too low. I think everything's good. Kamikaze Douga presents the Duel. This is only a 15-minute long episode. It's going to be pretty short, but hopefully dense, action-packed, and gets me feeling some type of way. Already. It's only 10 seconds into it, and you're going to already know, yep, this is an AKIRA Kurosawa influence. The old film style of the 50s, the likes of Seven Samurai, and even the description, a lone wanderer who, a Ronin, visits a village and decides to fight for them, is pretty much exactly like Yojimbo, another Akira Kurosawa work. So I feel like I'm going to get huge Yojimbo vibes and just general Kurosawa in this. And Akira Kurosawa is one of my favorite directors of all time. So that's why this is so much up my alley. Let alone I just love black and white and illustrative style. Like, this is just gorgeous to me. Oh, and yes, I am a purist. I do not like dub whatsoever, so we are watching the Japanese sub. I just think it's so cool seeing Star Wars in a world of, this is so clear. Like, they didn't try and make, they just said, yeah, we're going to make a Japanese village, but have Star Wars in it, and just have stormtroopers coming into a Japanese village. It's so cool. And I love how, to distinct it from like pure Kurosawa, the only color in the episode comes from the modern technology. I think that's so cool. A kid? It just feels so right to listen to this in Japanese. The guy's napping. He sleeps through anything. The frame rate is like almost off-putting at first, but I think that makes it more interesting and engaging. Oh, this is, in the trailer, this got me so goddamn hyped. And the sound effects, too, are legit. Bruh. That's our mysterious Ronin of sorts. And we saw the Sith woman. Oh, damn, she fighting in high heels? Shit. That lets you know she's a badass. All of her men died this easy. Is that her lightsaber? Oh, shit. I didn't realize that was from the trailer. Holy shit. Yeah, safe to say we've never seen a lightsaber like that before. Yeah, he is a Ronin. Yep, exactly. So if he's a Ronin, is he going to be Sith as well? Or not Sith, but he's going to have a red lightsaber, I assume. Because the Sith are directly influenced by the Ronin. That's so fucking sick. Ooh, Mary Poppins. I'd be running the fuck away. Oh, shit. Is this close enough for you? Dark Lord of the Sith. Oh! Oh, that was sick. Like I said, this... It reminds me of like a Mugen from Samurai Champloo. That confidence and that walk. Please whip out a red lightsaber. Sith versus Sith. We've never seen that. Really. Or have we? Oh. Huh. Oh, is that going to be from the trailer? Yes. I have goosebumps. Is he a Jedi or a Sith? Let's see that lightsaber, boy. Come on. A katana lightsaber. That gets me aroused. Fuck yeah. Woo! Ugh. That was smooth. I have goosebumps. No! Oh. Oh, damn. Dude, there are so many references and, like, familiar characters and races. Holy shit. Oh yeah, that music in the background. Of course, it's a river always has to lead to a waterfall for some reason. I just think it's so gorgeous to have a black and white film style, but for the technology to be the only color coming through. Mm. I want to hear that again. I want to see and hear that again. We have the chief and his guards. I also wanted to read that because I didn't read what I said because I was so focused on the imagery. Oh, I love that sound. Oh, his helmet, his headwear is sick. Again, Japanese, and just taking familiarity from every facet, but twisting it to Japanese culture is just so sick. It's so respectful too. Ooh. what a volley. Like that Han Solo flick of the pistol. Nice. Oh shit. Are you gonna save yourself? Oh, okay. I like how it's curved like a katana, but you take it out and the lightsaber's just straight. I also like that how just the concept of sheathing a lightsaber is both very cool and funny to me. Oh, she dead. Outsmarted. And you defaced the statue. Ooh, he had two. As a Ronin samurai. I love that. Oh, and he pays respects. He's a man of honor. That is just Akira Kurosawa right there. Don't die now. Like a Miyamoto Musashi. Yeah, just don't put a lightsaber in it. Eh? Ooh, are you leaving one? Oh. I am not the Jedi. Oh. Ooh. Oh! Wait, huh? It does. So he collects the Kyber crystals of Sith. But he's not necessarily Sith himself. Some interesting, different Bushido code of honor, in a way. That was... Dude, that was 12 minutes, and all of that happened? That was... Oh, God, man. That was kick-ass. So, let's discuss. First off, I need to correct myself. I said in my intro I had no idea of Kamikaze Douga's previous work, which is incorrect. I got them mixed up with a different studio. I have not watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure yet, but I am aware that this studio is known for having done several of OPs for JoJo. They also primarily work on shorts and specialize in blending old school 2D cell animation with more modern CGI rendering. And hey, I no doubt saw their specialty on display here. What a fusion. And that's what I was looking forward to. I loved it. It felt so familiar and comforting, like at home. Being such a cinephile myself, having watched and studied black and white classic film for countless hours, especially Kurosawa, who is one of my favorite directors, while also giving a certain breath of fresh air at the same time. And when animated shorts are your thing, you definitely know how to work good pacing. Remember, that was only 13 minutes or so, and I feel perfectly satisfied, and I thought the pacing was really well done. And mentioning Kurosawa's name, let's talk about the influence and the inspiration on clear display here. I feel like this is an episode Lucas himself would smile at watching. We know George credits Akira Kurosawa for his influence on the original trilogy. You even see it in the most recent, like The Mandalorian for sure, on behalf of Favreau. But here, it's amazing to see Star Wars finally become a samurai story, for it to finally come full circle, fully embracing, the black and white beauty of the samurai epics and the classics. They're all the way down to their archetypes and the tropes, and amalgamating all of that into the universe of Star Wars. I could see and feel the vibes of Yojimbo and Sanjuro frame after frame after frame, and it felt natural, it felt appropriate, it felt right. And this is also a perfect example of how you really subvert expectations. Not that sequel garbage, episode 9 crap excuse of subverting expectations. I can imagine the surprise factor for those who weren't expecting our mysterious lead character to be wielding a red lightsaber and to witness two red lightsabers clashing. I anticipated it myself. I wasn't surprised because to me it was pretty telling. So it was an easy prediction personally, but that's just because I'm a huge movie buff and Star Wars nerd. But for more casual watchers, or I don't know, even anybody, I can imagine how awesome it was to see a surprise like that. But for me, I read the description of the episode, mysterious wanderer helps village people, and instantaneously I'm like, oh, this is Yojimbo. He's a Ronin too. Jedi are space samurai. Sith are Ronin. Hell, Darth Vader himself looks like he's adorning Japanese warlord armor. I was already getting huge Yojimbo vibes, so when that shopkeeper called him Ronin Master, um, I instantly knew he would be wielding a red lightsaber. I said, Star Wars is inspired by Japanese culture, including pop culture in both film and anime slash manga. It was a beautiful trifecta of all of those. It felt like Star Wars, of course. Um, even the river scene felt eerily similar to Revenge of the Sith on Mustafar and the lava river and the duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I think you even heard a little bit of the score, I believe, too, in the background. At least my ears heard that or wanted to hear it, like faint echoes. Maybe it was just the nostalgia, but I swear you could hear it there. I don't know if it was the exact same score, but it sounded like it. And then I've already described how it felt like it was directly referencing Akira Kurosawa and Yojimbo and Sanjuro. And I don't know about any of you, but I also got huge Samurai Champloo vibes and even a little bit of Berserk in there too. Maybe the animation and just the look of our pro tag made me think of Guts. Um, but his walk and fighting style made me think of Mugen from Samurai Champloo. And even scenes in Samurai Champloo too, especially because we had a waterfall in this episode, specifically reminded me of the waterfall duel episode scene from Samurai Champloo, and also the Riverside duel as well. And oh, another thing I was wrong about that I wanted to correct. I said we've never seen this type of lightsaber before. Somehow completely forgetting about the helicopter shit spinning lightsabers from Rebels that I know myself and others online thought were ridiculous and stupid. So I then find it hilarious how my attitude and opinions just entirely shift opposite to the other end of the spectrum, and I thought that shit was so fucking badass here. I don't know, maybe it's because of this a sense of absurdity fits in with anime and maybe animation in general. Um, but in a weird way, how it fits in with anime, but not the animation of Rebels and such. I don't know. Maybe it's just the attitude and the vibe you have to have. Or Kamikaze Douga managed to just straight up do a better job. And this next idea is something I don't entirely really know how to describe because it's just like a feeling. These episodes were made by Japanese studios, of course, and even though I should have logically expected it with Duga in particular, I was so happy to see how Japanese it felt, how Japanese the world felt. It sounds stupid trying to say it like that, but like I'm happy they didn't lean too far Star Wars or too far Western and didn't abandon Asian culture or Japanese culture and instead made it ever present and very noticeable and front stage. I didn't want it to just be Star Wars that just so happens to have Japanese voice actors, or at least what I was listening to, and was only made by Japanese studios. And ooh, a lightsaber is a katana, and that's it. What I mean is like give us some examples of how it felt very cultured. Of like the village was a Japanese village, exactly what you would have seen in Edo period Japan, precisely out of a Kurosawa movie as well. The droid wears a traditional they're most commonly called like rice paddy hats, those East Asian conical hats. I know the Chinese name for them is dooli. That's what I mostly know, and I think in Japanese it's um, sugagasa or something like that. I'm not sure on the pronunciation, which lends some comic relief and personality to the droid, and I thought it was kind of cool and kind of funny. The stormtroopers and the antagonists in general, instead of the helmets we are most familiar with from the films and the shows and such, some of them are instead in the style of those like military Edo period kabuto helmets, which looked super cool. And our Ronin carried his what do you call it, pair of swords, as samurai obviously do, or what is called daisho. I especially appreciated the end of the episode. I know it's very ambiguous, which I like, but I imagine many were maybe confused about the ending when our Ronin said the red kyber crystal wards off evil. Another great cultural touch, because to most cultures, or at least Western or specifically American culture, I think we see red as evil or bad or edgy. I don't know. Like my red background right here kind of gives off a different vibe than if it was like blue or green or purple or whatever. Especially in the universe of Star Wars, and most people watching this will be Star Wars fans. They see red as evil. Red kyber crystals represent the dark side, the Sith, evil. As I may be wrong here because it's been a very long time, as they are made by forcing the kyber crystals to bleed. And don't like the Sith like infuse their hatred and their pain and their dark energy into the kyber crystal that makes it bleed to produce that red and to like make it unstable. I don't remember exactly. I could be so far off or I could be kind of on point. I'm not sure. Um I could understand it correctly or very poorly. So you see his red lightsaber and its collection of red kyber crystals, kind of similar, the opposite of a General Grievous in a way, and him gifting the little girl one of the red kyber crystals, and you assume maybe he is Sith, of course, because he's a Ronin, and even the citizens back a step away because it's almost like instinctual that you fear the red lightsaber or the red kyber crystal. But here, I love how they take traditional Japanese spiritual and religious culture as influence even here in something that is so fundamental to understanding um, Star Wars as we've known it. In many Asian cultures, Chinese, I think many will know already, but Japanese culture as well, red is a positive color. Red is a color that wards off evil and wards off bad luck. That's why in the Shinto religion, you'll see a Miko or shrine maiden always adorned in red. And the traditional Japanese gates most people have seen, in pictures or anime, but don't know exactly what they are. They're called Torii gates, most commonly as gates to a Shinto shrine or a sacred place. They're always red because red symbolizes vitality and protection from evil. And I don't know, I just find stuff like that really fascinating and cool and even touching in a way. Other cultures being showcased or represented to such a large audience. If like one person Googles to find out what the color red means in Japanese culture, and maybe then goes down, a little rabbit hole reading up on a different culture and learning something new, that's always a good thing. But yeah, multiple times did I have goosebumps on my arms. The glory and best part of animation is getting to tell a story and go all out with action that you can't physically or logically sometimes do in either live action or even in VFX because it's too dangerous or too illogical or too expensive. Would certain scenes been able to capture the same grittiness or edginess or intensity or ferocity if it was live action or CGI VFX, like the Ronin stopping the lightsaber between his hands with the Force, or sheathing and unsheathing his lightsaber katana, or the Sith spinning her weapon to block the blaster shots, or the Sith impaling that one guy with her weapon and then it expands. Like some of that shit just deserves to be told or visually seen exclusively via animation where, sometimes it's just done best that way. But yeah, episode 1 of 9 down under our belts. Episode 2, all the episodes actually got released at the same time, so I can do this whenever. But episode 2 is about a band. So obviously it's going to be a drastic shift in tone and style and atmosphere. Hopefully I like it. And I'll see you here again when we jump into that and jump into the rest. So that I think is where I'm going to end today's discussion here. Like I said, very casual, very brief. If you had a good time and made it to the end, hit that like button to support this new series. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay in the loop on our journey here together. Keep the conversation going down in the comments. We can all connect and engage with one another even more. Follow me on Instagram where I share my photography and more of my personal life. I'd love to grow that passion as well and engage with you over there too. And don't forget, first class members receive early access and exclusive Let's Watch series over on my Patreon. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time, thank you, stay cool, be yourself, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.